Welcome to Authorized Version Bible Thumper Ministries, dedicated to the gospel of Jesus Christ and preaching and teaching the Word of God from the preserved infallible King James Bible of 1611.
Do all Bible versions really contain the same message? One of the greatest arguments that you will hear against the King James Bible is that all the new versions and the King James all contain the same message and essentially the core doctrines, so why should it really matter what version a Christian uses? Well, we're going to see about that in this video. We're going to do a very fun comparison between a passage in the King James and a passage in the Message translation. So let's take a look. Matthew 6, beginning in verse 1. Take heed that ye do not your alms before men to be seen of them, otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. But be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him. After this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Now, let's go ahead and read this same passage, but in the Message. Matthew 6 and verse 1. Be especially careful when you are trying to be good, so that you don't make a performance out of it. It might be good theater, but the God who made you won't be applauding. Good theater, but the God who made you won't be applauding. When you do something for someone else, don't call attention to yourself. You've seen them in action. I'm sure play actors. What? I call them treating prayer meeting and street corner alike as a stage, acting compassionate as long as someone is watching, playing to the crowds. They get applause, true, but that's all they get. When you help someone out, don't think about how it looks, just do it. Just do it quietly and unobtrusively. That is the way your God who conceived you in love, working behind the scenes, helps you out. And when you come before God, don't turn that into a theatrical production either. All these people making a regular show out of their prayers, hoping for stardom. Hoping for stardom? What? Do you think God sits in a box seat? Here's what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you will begin to sense His grace. Sense His grace? What? The world is full of so-called prayer warriors who are prayer ignorant. Prayer ignorant? I mean, come on. They're full of formulas and programs and advice, peddling techniques for getting what you want from God. Don't fall for that nonsense. This is your Father you are dealing with, and He knows better than you what you need. With a God like this loving you, you can pray very simply like this. Our Father in heaven, reveal who you are. Set the world right. Do what's best, as above, so below. Keep us alive with 3 square meals. I thought it was give us this day our daily bread, not 3 square meals. Keep us forgiven with you and forgiving others. Keep us safe from ourselves and the devil. You're in charge. You can do anything you want. You're ablaze in beauty. Yes, yes, yes. What? And you expect me to believe that this message conveys the same message that the King James does? No, I beg to differ. The fact of the matter is first of all, set the world right. That's not what the King James says. Now, the Lord is going to set up His millennial kingdom on this earth, which is exactly what the King James Bible is referencing here. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. This is a Jewish prayer right here. Thy kingdom come, the millennial kingdom that Jesus is bringing with Him to this earth for 1,000 years. in the book of Revelation, that's what this is a reference to. This is a Jewish prayer that his kingdom would come because the Jews seek a kingdom, and they seek the Messiah, the king of the Jews, who is going to rule over them, and that will be Jesus Christ in the millennial kingdom, and that's exactly what this is a reference to. And now he will set the world right, but it's not this simple passage. This completely destroys any kind of cross-reference that you could ever find to discover that this is a prayer for the millennial kingdom to come. Instead, this says, set the world right. Completely destroys the cross-reference. Completely takes away from any kind of spiritual truth. Do what's best, as above, so below. Look at that occult reference. I mean, as above, so below. That's not what it's saying. It's saying, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. And the fact of the matter is when the millennial kingdom comes, if you study it out, you know that the millennial kingdom is not a full-on perfect heaven on earth, that there will still be people rebelling in that time period, and there will still be some wickedness left on the earth. And then after that 1,000 years, and basically Satan is cast into the lake of fire, and then the Lord recreates the earth, and that's when there is a new heaven and a new earth. But before that, there's a transition. So this as above, so below does not line up with the millennial kingdom passage here. What this is, because the millennial kingdom will not be full-on heaven just yet on earth. It's a transition. It's very important to understand that about the millennial kingdom, is that you're transitioning from carnal things into eternity. So this whole thing destroys this whole quote-unquote message. And it's funny because it's called the message. The dead message, I should say. I mean, just completely wicked and satanic. So to all the King James haters out there, because you're more than likely lost if you've been a Christian for a long time and you've not put the effort and study into it to find out that you need to read the King James and the King James only, put in the study to understand that that the new versions come from completely different manuscripts than the King James does, and that the new versions all take readings from the Jesuit Douay-Rheims text of 1582. If you've been a Christian for a while and you've studied those things and you still chose to go with a just terrible translation like this, then you're lost. There's no excuse for you. Anyone who studies the issue will understand that the King James is the perfect word of God in the English language for English-speaking people. And then, of course, this little message, this thing is about as good as a fire starter, really. I mean, this makes some good. One of these would probably make some good paper for starting a fire, or some really good comedy like this video has shown. But this is not the Word of God. This is a complete perversion, disgusting, watered down, just perversion. This is what Satan does. He counterfeits what the true Word of God says. And this can't even tell you the same message or give you the same type of spiritual truth that the King James does if you rightly divide it. So the fact of the matter is that all the different versions do not convey the same message, and you need to stick with the King James Bible because it is God's perfect word in the English language for English-speaking people. But that is it for this video, and I pray that you all have a great day, and God bless, brethren.